Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Today, an interesting Pokemon Sword and Shield rumor has emerged that was posted 2 weeks ago that seems very, very legitimate. So if you don't want to be spoiled about anything, because this could be true, it's very, very likely that this is going to be true information, then you're welcome to click off the video. But otherwise, I'm assuming you probably clicked on this video because you want to know what this leaked information is. And there's quite a lot of it. And it's very interesting. Some interesting things that I would absolutely love to see in Pokemon, and some kind of weird things that we saw in the direct trailer yesterday kind of get repeated as well. So if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to hit the like button down below. If you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon Sword and Shield, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to become a part of the Twintendo Nation. So what I'm going to do first, guys, is read through all of this information, just tell you what it is, and then I'm going to go back through it and tell you which kind of pieces of information were shown in the Pokemon Direct, you know, giving it some proof, basically, backing it up. So first of all, it says your rival is named Hop, but you will also be facing off against Beedie, I think it is, or Betty and Marnie. So there's 3 rivals in the game. The evil team is called Team Yell, and it's a gang, and it's basically well-meaning fans of Marnie causing trouble. Not too sure what that could be, really, to be honest. To become part of the gym challenge, you will have to get an endorsement, so sponsorship basically. Betty gets an endorsement from Chairman Rose and his secretary Oleana. I have no idea what these names are. Oleana, I'm going to go for. Eternatus is the evil legendary, so I'm assuming like the 3rd one. Because we saw at the end of the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct, when they showed the 2 legendaries, that they were kind of looking up in the sky. I felt like that was kind of like hinting at the 3rd legendary. But it says the other legendary will be a wolf who will either have a shield main or hold a sword like Great Wolf Sith, which is from Dark Souls, I'm pretty sure. Now, Dynamaxing and Gigamaxing, Gigantamaxing even, are new dynamics that will supersize Pokemon in specific areas. Gigantamaxing is different from Dynamax, as it changes what the Pokemon looks like, so this sounds a bit like Mega Evolution. Meowth looks like Longcat. By the way, guys, I'm going to say that this person's first language probably isn't English, because there are a few things that pop up that don't sound right, but Meowth looks like a Longcat, I'm assuming it means to say. Lapras gets layers like musical bars to its shell and musical notes, which is very interesting. And Pikachu looks like Retro Fat Pikachu, which I can't wait to see if that is legitimate. Next up, it says Sonia is Leon's former rival, which I can definitely see, and is researching the Dynamax phenomenon at the behest of her grandmother and professor of the game. Some Pokemon, like Farfetch, will get regional evolutions like Surfetched. Meowth looks like a ball of spiky grey fur. Again, I don't know why Meowth pops up. I think there might be like another Meowth evolution, maybe. Then it says Scovet and Gradient. I feel like those names aren't correct, but they're going to be something like that. They are chipmunk Pokemon who will hide in berry trees and attack randomly if you shake far too many berries. If they attack, you lose half the berries they dropped, or that you dropped earlier, I think. So the 4th gym is the first fairy type gym, and it's led by actress named Opal. Milo, Nessa, and Kaboo are the first ones, so they're the first gyms. I'm pretty sure there has been a fairy type gym in Pokemon X and Y, so that isn't correct as far as I'm aware. But it says before fighting the gym leaders, you have to complete the gym challenges. Milo has you herding sheep Pokemon named Wooloo, but Pamper, electric corgi Pokemon, will startle them and send them rolling elsewhere. Nessa has you running through a maze where water blocks away. Kaboo requires you to catch Pokemon and get 5 points, but you have to be in a party battle with another trainer who's also trying to catch it. That's a bit confusing. And then we get a bit more information here. And it says, while there is a transit system, you will have to go through the wild areas at times, an open world biome that has a weather system and little pockets where Pokemon Dynamax and have to be beaten in a 4-person raid. You will randomly see nearby players and interact with them to get their league cards and items. Camping is how you play with Pokemon now. You'll get 2 toys, a feather toy and a toy Pokeball, which can raise friendship. You can make curry, which will raise stats and friendliness. Pokemon will not walk beside you in the overworld map, which is a bit disappointing, but I think we kind of knew that. So now we're going to get onto the final forms of the starters. So Scorbunny will have fighting moves, but is a pure fighter. This is interesting. Do they mean it's a pure fighting type and not fire? It becomes Reboot, but I don't remember the final evolution, except that it looks like a fighter. It looks humanoid. Okay, so if it is firefighting, I know a lot of us are going to be disappointed, myself included. I'm not against firefighting types, but I feel like we've had far too many. Next up, Sobble becomes Sisile, I think it is, and then Intellium, a chameleon with a spy theme, which is basically like Gex by the sounds of it. And then Grookey will end up as a giant gorilla that beats a wood drum to attack. And then it says, there's a lot I'm missing, but I wasn't planning on leaking until now. I don't know why they say this, but they say, I'm angry and upset, and while I liked what I saw, I didn't get too far. I think what they mean is they were annoyed that they couldn't play the game anymore. So it sounds like they're like a beta tester. I think that's what they are. It says the best Pokemon so far is the blue seagull, who when it dives either gets a Barracuda in its mouth or a Pikachu when it launches at its enemy. So that is all the information we got. However, we are going to go back through this and kind of look at what they got right. So this was posted, where was this posted? 23rd of May 2019, so that was 2 weeks ago. And obviously it's now the 6th of June, but we had, this was, obviously we had a Pokemon Direct on yesterday on the 5th of June. But this was definitely like 2 weeks in advance. This is pretty interesting. So let's go back through this. Your rival is named Hop. That is correct. They got that one completely right. And it basically also said in the Pokemon Direct that it said rivals. You will have a bunch of rivals. It said something like that. But it definitely mentioned plural, like rivals. So that doesn't surprise me that we're going to have more than one. It says Team Yell is the gang in the game. We don't know anything about that, and we don't know anything about Marnie, who's the other rival. To become part of the gym challenge, you will have to get an endorsement. We don't really know too much about this, but we did see like sponsorships on Leon, who's the champion. He had like loads of sponsorships on his cape, so an endorsement definitely doesn't surprise me if that's the case. And Betty gets an endorsement from Chairman Rose. Have we seen Chairman Rose? Was that the person with the Bidgew on the desk? Maybe that could have been the secretary as well, Oleana, although I'm assuming that isn't the person. I'm assuming Oleana is a female name, but you never know. They got the thing right about the wolves being the legendaries, one having a shield mane, which is correct, and one holding a sword in its mouth like Great Wolf Sith, which is from Dark Souls. You've seen the comparisons probably on Twitter, but so that's correct. Dynamaxing is also true, but we've not seen anything about Gigantamaxing. My thing I want to talk about Gigantamaxing a second, guys. I wonder if, say, for example, Pokemon that Mega Evolve, right? Let's say Charizard can Mega Evolve into X or Y. When it Gigantamaxes and, you know, these Pokemon change form, will Pokemon that have the chance, or Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, will they change into their Mega Evolution? Is that going to be a Gigantamaxing as well? Because it'd be interesting to see once these Pokemon, like for example, generations further on from this, like Generation 9, whatever, and say Gigantamaxing is not really a thing, will these Pokemon be able to keep their other form? Is there a way for them to be like normal size with the new form, like this Meowth and Lapras are going to be? So I don't know, that's very interesting. So it sounds like, because people kind of enjoy Dynamaxing because any Pokemon could become giant, but it looks like there are also going to be like specific ones that have even more potential. Now it says Sonia is Leon's former rival. We both know about Sonia and Leon. They're both confirmed from yesterday. And it also says she is researching Dynamax, which it mentioned in the Direct, at the behest of her grandmother, who is a professor of the game. That is also correct. Her grandmother is Professor Magnolia, so that is correct information. Then it says some Pokemon like Farfetch will get regional evolutions. I'm not sure if this means like Alolan forms, or does it mean like just an evolution that can only be found in that region, similar to, like, say for example, the last generation that did it, you know, evolutions on a large scale was Generation 4. Does it mean like you can find these evolutions in, you know, this generation for the first time and then they'll be available elsewhere? It's interesting to see if this is kind of Galleon forms or, you know, some just normal evolution. But that is the best part of this information for me. I've been wanting new evolutions for, you know, Farfetch and all these Pokemon for ages. Farfetch was actually #1 in my top 5 new evolutions I'd like to see for Pokemon Sword and Shield video, so that is great if that's true. Now this is interesting, because this is only kind of, this is new information from today, this. It mentions a chipmunk Pokemon. I'm not going to say their names because I think they're wrong. However, people have spotted like a squirrel or chipmunk Pokemon in the crowd of Pokemon Direct yesterday, and also on a child's shirt, basically. So that for me is another piece of information that backs this leak up. I definitely think this is real. We've seen berry trees and that you can shake berries out of them, so that is also correct. The 4th gym is the first fairy type gym. That's actually not true. We know there was a fairy gym in Pokemon X and Y, so that's probably a bit of misinformation on the leakers' behalf. Maybe they just thought, you know, it was the first fairy type gym. They probably forgot that there was one in Pokemon X and Y. So I don't think that's, you know, anything to discredit this. They also said that Milo is a gym leader, which is true. We saw Milo. That was the only one we saw yesterday in the Pokemon Direct. And then they say Nessa and Kaboo are the other ones. Don't know anything about them. Now it says, before fighting the gym leaders, you have to complete the gym challenges. Milo has you herding sheep Pokemon named Wooloo. That is correct, but Pamper Electric Corgi Pokemon, which, oh my god, if that is true, that is so exciting. It will startle them and send them rolling. Now, actually, we can see in the Pokemon Direct, it was only for a split second, but you can actually see a Wooloo rolling across a field, and it also mentions in its like Pokedex entry that they were Nintendo of America and Pokemon were talking about on Twitter yesterday that it rolls away when it's in danger. So that is also correct. And then anything past that about Nessa and Caboose challenges, we don't know anything about them. So it mentions next there is a transit system that could either be the trains or it could actually be Corviknight and its taxi. That's what I'm assuming it is, Corviknight and its taxi. But then it mentions wild areas, which is correct. We definitely know that is the case. And that is, for me, so exciting. An open world biome that has a weather system, that checks out. And little pockets where wild Pokemon Dynamax also checks out. So that is definitely correct. And then camping, this is actually something that has been proven. You guys might not have noticed it, but if you see Sobble, the bit when Sobble's like showing hearts and it looks like, I was saying it's basically Pokemon Refresh. It basically is. You see in the background, there seems to be like a little Pokemon tent. So it says camping is how you play with Pokemon now. You'll get 2 toys, basically all that stuff. You can raise its friendliness and, you know, stuff like that. So that is correct. I definitely think that's correct. The stuff about the starters is only speculation for me at the moment. I'm assuming they are correct, but we can't, you know, judge anything on that. And then that's pretty much it, because the last thing they mention is the blue seagull, which sounds very interesting, that can dive and get a Barracuda in its mouth, which I'm assuming is another new Pokemon, or a Pikachu, which is really random. So guys, that is the Pokemon Sword and Shield leaked information. For me, this is, I'm going to say, like, I'm 90% sure this is legitimate. Do remember that the past leak we've had about Armored Evolution, they got, like, they probably mentioned this like a week or 2 weeks before Sword and Shield were revealed. They got quite a bit right, like the names of the title being Pokemon Sword and Shield, the region being based in the UK, but a lot of the stuff they mentioned wasn't true. So, you know, this isn't 100% correct, but there are so many things that back this up compared to the last leak that with Armored Evolution that wasn't right. So I'm believing that this is correct, but you know, there is still a slight chance that some of this won't be real. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think of any of this leaked information. What are you looking forward to the most? I love the idea of regional evolutions like Farfetch. Farfetch has needed it more than any other Pokemon for the longest time. And then I'd love to see Dunsparce especially get a new evolution. They definitely need, both of them definitely need a new evolution. But anyway guys, if you did enjoy today's video, a like is super appreciated, really helps out the channel more than you could know. And if you want to stay up to date with everything Sword and Shield, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to become a part of the Twintendo Nation. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!